work is on the self. It's how do we get out of this shit? We wake up in the consciousness of the higher self while we in our lower form. That's the hard part. But it requires us to think higher and outside of what they told us to think. They told us what to think and how to think. They didn't just teach us how to think and let us think for ourselves. They taught us how to process the varying different aspects of the polarities of information they gave us. Those polarities had limits. Outer limits is where I wanted to be. That's a Rod Serling production, like a Twilight Zone. You know, the slightly on or off. That's an LSD, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. That's a Beatles flip. All of this stuff becomes connected when you understand what I'm talking about. Because when you look up in the sky with LSD, you see the purple haze. You know, that's a Jimi Hendrix. That's a guitar riff. It's telling you it's a note. It's a keynote address. Now he's talking about somebody speaking. So when the signs come in and you flip the signs out, everybody don't know what they mean. But the keynote speaker gives the keynote address. If he gives the keynote address, the keynote is in the address. Whatever the address is where the key is. So then he flipped the note. That's why he's the keynote speaker. The note is in the sound, the tone, the A-tone. I already gave you the A-tone. It's been flipped out. It's upside down, turned around. Everything back in order. So the women return to a position of normal, matriarchal structure. The men's patriarchal protective instincts are going to alter. So we ain't got time to be worrying about the LBGTQRSUV community, whatever the fuck they is. As long as they go about their business, they're going to eventually fade out. Because it's not natural and it's not in balance. They're going to start balancing out whether they want to or not. Some of them going to probably kill themselves from the psychological damage they done to themselves when they realize that they done it to themselves. Then others is going to realize that somebody they cared dearly about tricked them into thinking that that's who they was and it actually wasn't who they is. That's who their ego personified. So it's all in unlearning those bad behaviors in the self. And once you realize where you at here, between the temples, these are the two temples. The two temples. The shrine, right, and the lodge. The motherline cross the fatherline. You gotta uncross that shit to see what's real. You gotta go a little deeper than the surface dwelling. So if you don't understand that the children is the key to the future, you already got in your own way. Because if you take the old wineskins and try to force this new wine in them, you're just going to cause a rupture. A psychological break is what they call it in psychology. Where the mind is not going to process according to the information that's given. So we woke now, and we know what the fuck to do, and we doing it. It's about done. So it's a matter now of a waiting game, and we ain't talking about no years. We ain't waiting no 2,000 years for somebody to come surfing in on the surfboard. We talking about voodoo don't take that long. So since y'all was scared to use the voodoo, that me and some of the chiefs decided to use the voodoo. Because the enemy said don't use voodoo and it worked for Haiti, so why it wouldn't work for us here? Because they kept y'all scared of y'all power source. Right? So how you gonna watch the TV if you're scared to plug the motherfucker in? That don't make sense to me. So they've been using your TV at their house because you don't use it. Don't make sense to me. I'm plugging my shit in. I want to see everything going on. I didn't understand that it was going to take effect to the level that it did. But, you know, it's a wrap. All the imposters has been identified. So we've been seeing all of the disclosures. It's another brother want to come in. Let's see. Go in here, see how he doing. I'm only gonna be on here a couple more minutes, so give him a chance to see what he say and take it from there. But
and I've noticed that, so I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of days or even weeks if they don't drop the internet. Period. If we don't have Wi-Fi usage for a while,
it's
I would
already
not
on the
be
schedule.
surprised.
It's already on the schedule. Look, they already had the schedule. The folks did it simultaneously. It's supposed to be a phone, internet, and television. Everything shut down, but they was able to stop most of it. Except for yesterday, they still had the phones. They hit the phones pretty bad yesterday. But it's supposed to be phone, internet, and TV all cut off simultaneously so they can keep this chaos going.
But
I'm gonna tell you something else too. When we get chopping it up, the energy frequency sometimes alters the current that carries the pictures and the sound. So they don't always have to be the ones interrupt. Sometimes it be us because our energy so high this electronic shit be buckling under the pressure. You know, it can't carry that current. Go back and listen to the Outlaws talking about Tupac talking at the end to hit him up. They had to edit out because the microphones kept shorting out because he was so hyped. His energy was so high.
Yeah. So, man, listen. They dread. They said the revolution won't be televised. They meant that our revolution, we're not televising it for them to see. We're gonna televise it for our people to see, just to show them that we still know who we are. And when our people wake up from that and see, yes, some of them gonna be crazy, but the ones that wake up immediately have to reach out and get them teachers, because if they don't, they're gonna perish. They ain't got very long. They ain't gonna be able to take that. You know what I'm saying? Man.
So look, Pac was out cold. When they said the revolution would not be televised, they didn't say it wouldn't be on social media. Man, you turn now, you seeing these brothers and sisters dropping this hot knowledge, the real shit. But here go the difference. This is how you know the difference. They giving that shit away free. Them diet woke motherfuckers got some kind of motherfucking pitch to sell you to come spend some money at this seminar. Nigga, tell the motherfuckers, oh, why you gotta do it? Tell them. If they want to send you something, they'll send you something. Out of this condition, we can't keep hoarding the information and only giving it to a motherfucker with a few dollars. It's too late for that
shit. Listen, bro. I'm tired of that, man. I want to talk about some things, but I don't know if it's one's place to talk about those things yet. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I want to talk about it, but I don't know if this is the live to talk about. You know, I know you said, you know, people already think you crazy. You know, I know you said that, you know, and I don't want to bring any more craziness to your platform that you already have, you know.
Hey, look. That was my protection mechanism, right? I don't give a fuck if they think I'm crazy. If you want to drop it. Shit, we bring the heat. I don't be holding nothing back.
Well, it's time to rebuild from the ground up. We don't have a president. There is no president. There was never such thing as a president. The president was never the power. He never had supreme authority over us. We've always had supreme authority over self. We already had our own governance. So they showed us and dropped us how we ended up coming up under their system, under this paper dollar. A man made a mistake on some paperwork. We've been paper fucked. They paper fucked us. That was the magic. And the people
Yeah,
that know what's
they
going
real.
on, they're trying to, the ones that know what's going on, they're trying to reshift their focus on overseas on some currency that's getting ready to revalue. Currency, they always
Well,
talk
look,
about damn currencies. The Iraqi dinar is going to revalue. The Vietnamese dong is going to revalue. The Zimbabwe, the Zim is going to revalue. They dropping these names and knowledge, and people just waiting on that money, and they ain't doing the research. Well, I was one of the ones that did the research, and I know what the hell's going on. And ain't nobody signing no contracts ever again. That's never. We're never going to be up under no paper money system and using mother's resources for ill-gotten gains or anything like that. If you want something, you'll be able to have it. If you want to live somewhere opulent, you can have that, but it's going to be to an opulence of minimum. You can have a house that's a 100-bedroom house. Yeah, you can have. It'll be free. Ain't no more currency. You know what I'm saying? The only
well,
thing that the
it'll be
society is
it,
going to ask of
it'll be
someone is to bring their mind. Once you bring your mind to the table and realize your gift, that's when you're going to be able to get those things. You ain't going to have to go through nobody's secret societies or none of that. There's going to be
that's what I was just
transparency
saying
all the way around.
when the phone was acting up while you was off. I was saying everybody should be able to rise to their own level of greatness. You know,
See?
everybody got their own abilities and interests, and if they apply
Yes.
themselves, they can rise to their own level of greatness. So let's teach this to these kids. How do you rise to your own level of greatness? How do you break the mold? You teach the children to be better than the parent. That's all. If I can get this much, you can get double this, triple, 10 times. If you applied yourself to what's going to make your best life. Some people, their best life is not living in a 50-bedroom house. Some people, their best life is coming home and the dog running up and jump on them when they got off work.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they love doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I work with people in the GM that they love working. You know, they got
labor.
That's their second
that
family.
energy.
Yeah. You know, they come in and they drink coffee, laugh, and joke with the people they work with, try to put out a quality product for the company they work for, and the company keeps shitting on them. Right? And you get the traders out of the unions, then the company will give the people what they work.
Mm.
But as long as you got traders in your midst, you ain't gonna never get nowhere.
Mm.
You know, so they need to revamp the entire union because there's too many people that's in there only because they want to get away from work. So it's just to facilitate somewhere for lazy motherfuckers to sit and get fat off the hog while other people suffer because of their lack of competence.
Right.
And they lack of a will to fight for the people. Don't take a position where the people need you to fight for you to sit on your ass. If you want a fighter, put a fighter there. You know what I mean? Don't keep putting these motherfuckers there because they got pretty faces. Put the motherfucker that's going to be effective there. You know, go back to what you was just saying, you know, everybody be able to have what they want, but everybody don't have the same level of ambition.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to break down and articulate too. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing I learned. You know, that's how they got us. They made us change our languages. You know what I'm saying? So we couldn't properly communicate to each other. You know, and then they made us eat this bullshit and took away our telepathic abilities. And then they retaught us something to regurgitate back to us that wasn't the right thing. But we found out the code and what to say and who needs to say it and how to say it. You know, yeah. It's here. It's here.
You know how we found out the code, right?
Man, speak, bro. Speak.
So in 1800s, there was this dude he was a house servant of a high-ranking Freemason.
Mm.
And as the house servant, he was watching all of the rituals and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to another brother that just so happened to be learned in voodoo.
Mm.
So when they would go over the comparative analysis, it's the same shit. They villainizing it. Look, they villainize it and call it all this negative terminology so we don't use it.
Ooh,
So this is what Prince Hall and Absalom Jones discovered.
Mm.
So what do they want to do? Start their own lodge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wouldn't give them a charter.
Mm.
Because over here, if you get caught practicing without a charter, it's automatic death.
You're a pirate. They take you out. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, they went over to Europe and got a charter and came back and set a lodge up.
Mm.
Now, we know what their secret is,
Mm.
but we infiltrated.
Hmm.
We already infiltrated. Soon as he got the charter, we was infiltrated.
So he had to go to Rome to get the charter?
Nope, he got it in England.
In England?
Yeah.
Okay.
So over in England, you had two rights: the Scottish Rite and the York Rite.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a blue lodge, which is the York Rite. Red lodge is the Scottish Rite.
Mm-hmm.
And Prince Hall got York Rite charter from the parent lodge in England and came back and set up over here. Then he began to reach out to all of the ones who were still practicing the voodoo in secret. So most of them was held up in what we call the American Methodist Episcopal Church.
Mm.
It was the largest black congregation in the country. All other black churches, no matter what denomination they was, some kind of way was either tied to or affiliated with the Methodist Church if they sought freedom.
Okay.
If they sought any kind of freedom, they was tied to the Methodist. Even if they was Baptist, that you would find them in close consort with Methodist ministers.
Okay.
The Methodists kept the secrets from our ancestral lines of the voodoo, right? But they never told you what it was. They just let it play out in the church because we used the church to conceal it. So now everything comes full circle, what they use to oppress us. You got to understand that we create an app when we believe in something.
Mm.
Somebody got to learn how to tap into the app.
Mm.
When you learn to tap into the app, you get to download all the energy. When you download all the energy that they didn't think nobody could access, because you had to have a certain codon sequence in your DNA in order to access it. Only one motherfucker could access all of them, but a lot of motherfuckers could access some of them. Right?
Right.
So then we start passing it on in the series of what they call bumps and knocks in the war dance.
Mm.
It's a game of hot potato. Who got the motherfucking key? I got it. Where is it at? It's over here. Look, he got it over there. Oh, it's over there now.
Okay. I understand now.
You
I fully understand now. I fully understand now. Okay. Okay.
Now here go the biggest secret in our community. Before Malcolm and Martin died, right?
Yes, sir.
There was no means of us to call the next ancestor forward without us publicly dying.
Hmm.
You got to hold that in mind when I go to this next part. So, in order to draw the traitors out, Malcolm read a red herring. Then he gave back a report in public. Now, this how you know he reporting back to the messenger. He keeps saying in the report the names of these dudes, and he's saying, I'm not saying nothing the police don't know. The police the ones told me. They already got this information. So who is he talking to? He's going over the traitors that's in the Nation of Islam in this press conference. Who the fuck, if the police already know and gave him the information, right?
You're right.
And guys in the nation discovered it and gave him the information, but they ain't in the nation no more. So the nation not taking information, and then Malcolm get in the press conference and publicly call the traitors out by name.
When he said that.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And he keeps saying that the police already know this. The only one that don't know this is Mr. Muhammad. That's what he keeps saying in the press conference. So then if the only person that don't know this is Mr. Muhammad, who in the fuck is he telling? The only motherfucker that don't know who the traitor is. Mr. Muhammad. But we can't see it because we don't realize we got traitors in our midst and we got to get them out. So now, along comes Louis X, a violin player, smart than a motherfucker. He discovered a way using the Vadun to awaken the next ancestor without one of us having to literally die a physical death. Right. The perception is equally as effective as the reality.